Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody. Woo, child. I don't know about y'all, but I am in recovery mood. So this has been holiday weekend. It has been a lot going on. And honey, child, when I say I am trying to brace myself for the upcoming weeks because we got a lot going on as well. And I'm looking forward to some chill, some downtime, waiting for, just fun and not being able to be doing a lot of, working stuff. I thought that once I, got through the school year, that it would like calm down a little bit. I wouldn't have a lot to do. Wrong. Honey, let me tell you. Even getting through the year and then getting to the summer is still something to do. It's always something to do. So me, I couldn't sit still, of course. I'm like, I gotta be doing something. I always felt like this is my time to catch up on things that I couldn't do like during the school year or something because, work is so demanding. And by the time I get home, I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm exhausted. I don't feel like doing nothing else. I done had like a long day. So things kind of get pushed to the back burner. They kind of, sit on the shelf for a little bit and I'll say, okay, you know what? When I get a break, when summer gets here, then I'm gonna take my time and catch up on some projects. Hey, honey, thank you. You out there getting it in? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, hubby is out there working it out. He's another one that cannot sit still. He always got his hands doing something because that's what he does. He loves doing what he do. Yeah, so for the 4th of July, of course the band, they do their thing, they did their thing. So I'm always diving in with that and I'm behind the scenes with that. So if you get a chance, you can go back and see the live that we did for July 4th because that's always a vibe. It's always a vibe. The band, they show up and show out. Hello. Thank you for coming in. For our Sister Talk. Yeah, so that's always a vibe. So we did live and they never disappoint. It gives them chances to showcase their skills and show people what they're doing and get more involvement, because not only do I advertise on my TV's live channel, but they do do it on their Facebook as well. So if you get a chance, check out the Progressive Movement Band. But I appreciate you guys for being here for our Sister Talk. Yes, I am in Pennsylvania. Thank you for coming in for Sister Talk. It's usually my sister, Janae Goddess Life from Artistic Healer Expressions, normally is co-hosting with me. I guess she should be in momentarily. But we are from Pennsylvania and we live in the United States. So this is what we call our Sister Talk Sunday Live. So what we do is we pick topics and we talk about it. Okay, discussions. We give some little advice. We can relate to a lot of our topics. So with that being said, I'm going to be diving in to our topic for today. So my topic is going to be how experiences can change your views. So this one was very tough to come up with because I always think about like how life is lifing. That's one of my favorite things. Said life is lifing. And I always say real life happens. So if you go to my channel, you'll see I say real life happens, because it does. You know, this is where TB's life came in. This is where TB's life came in, because I have so many different experiences, so many different challenges. So I'm at a point where now I can share a lot with my listeners and my viewers. So let's talk a little bit about experiences. So experiences could be both positive and negative, right? And they can significantly alter an individual's perspective by challenging pre-existing beliefs, fostering new understandings, and prompting a re-evaluation of values and priorities. So these shifts in perspective can be gradual or they can be sudden, and it can lead to personal growth, increased empathy, and a greater appreciation for life. Whew, I know that was a whole mouthful. That was a whole mouthful. But yeah, but that kind of just breaks down a little bit like what experiences could be. You know, they could be positive or they could be negative. So on our topic today in our conversation, I'm gonna talk a little bit about positive and like negative experiences. So things that like I can personally relate to, you know, and it could be something that's thought provoking that you might want to chime in and, you know, talk a little bit about, you know, if it's something that you agree with. Okay. So let me give you an example of some experiences. Hey sister.
Hey sis, hi.
Hey. Yes,
How are you? Sorry I'm
I
late.
am listen, I am good. I was just
hmm
about to dive into our topic today about how experiences can change your views. So
Yes.
yeah, so I was like, we should be here any moment.
hmm
Um, but yeah, but I'll just give you a little recap of what I just said. About
hmm
experiences can be both positive and negative.
For
Um,
sure.
and they could like significantly alter an individual's perspective by challenging like pre-existing beliefs,
hmm
fostering understandings, and prompting a reevaluation of values and priorities.
hmm
They said these shifts can be gradual or they could be sudden, and they could lead to personal growth, increase your empathy, and they can give you a greater appreciation for life.
hmm
Yeah, right.
hmm hmm
So, with that being said, let's talk about how experiences can change views before we dive right into this discussion, right? So,
hmm
because experience can change your views by like challenging your beliefs, right?
hmm
So, experiences can contradict or conflict with one's existing beliefs.
hmm
It can force a reevaluation of those beliefs, right?
Right.
Like, for example, someone who has always believed that people from a certain background are untrustworthy
hmm
might have their perspective changed after forming a close friendship with someone from their background.
For sure. We've seen a lot of movies like that.
How?
hmm
Girl, oh my God. Oh my God.
hmm
Listen, do you know how many times people judge you just by, like you said, it could be for your affiliations, it can be your ethnicity, it could be
hmm
where you come from, right? And
hmm
and you know, people, I always call those the stereotypes. You know those
hmm
stereotypes, you know,
Right.
where you look a certain way, so you must be a certain type of person or
hmm
something like that, right?
Yeah, that was really the first thing I thought about when you was talking about, like the topic, how experiences can change your views.
Mm,
Yeah, thinking about people, like you said, and stereotypes and, how, different encounters with, particular people, a person from a certain background or something, how you might think certain, something, but then after getting a chance to experience that person, you get to see them, see a different light, see them a different
right.
whole view.
Right,
hmm
right, right. It happens so much. It happens so much. And especially like with these times that we're in now, like a lot of cultures and stuff are being judged. just because
Right.
they're a certain culture or a certain
Mhm.
nationality, like they're being judged and attacked, right?
Yeah.
So it said one way that you could change your view is just by being around this person, getting
Yeah.
to know them,
Mhm.
seeing what they are about, judging the person, not what's going on around them, right? And that
Yeah.
and that's a lot of what happens. People judge you based on what you look like, or just because you are from a certain group, or you have a certain belief, or you have a certain religion, right?
Right.
So that's one way that you could change your views.
Mhm.
I have an experience with someone that you always considered different, or that you might not have trusted them because of where they come from, right? So that's
Right.
one example of a way that you can change your views. Another one is gaining new understanding. So new experiences can expose individuals to different perspectives, right? And
Mhm.
ways of life, leading to a broader understanding of the world and the people in it.
Mhm.
It could be through travel, volunteering, even engaging in conversations with people who have different backgrounds,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. 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 Because you learn through experiences.
You learn,
Mhm.
right? And that's the thing. Like, I always say, like, don't judge a book by its cover. It said, God saves all who seek him. I love you and pray for today. We into the King University. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in, Linwood King.
Mhm.
We're talking about how experiences can change your views. Right.
Mhm.
So yeah. So but it definitely can lead you into a new understanding just by,
Yeah.
like you said, traveling or volunteering or something, or just having a conversation with somebody. My
Mhm.
favorite thing is, like, if I'm out somewhere and, like, a common space,
Mhm.
right? It could be like a gathering or something big going on. And,
Mhm.
I try to be cordial with people,
Yeah.
especially when I make eye contact with you. I might say, hello, how are you doing? Or something like that, speak.
Mhm.
And, it's been situations where I've been out in public, and some random person that I don't know, never seen before, probably would never ever talk to, where, like, come stand beside me, or they might just say something like, wow, like, such and such and such. Like, they'll just spark up a conversation, right? And,
Mhm.
like, if I was to see them somewhere else, I probably wouldn't even, like, talk to them, engage with them, right? So
Yeah.
I would say, um, okay, yeah. We having a whole conversation, and then we'll be talking, and realize that we have something in common, or have, like, the same view or something, right?
Mhm.
Oh, so it could definitely happen, right? It could definitely happen. So, I can
Yeah.
appreciate those gaining new understandings. Have you ever been in a situation where, you were just some random place, and you end up engaging in conversation with somebody that were different from you, that you didn't have you probably would never talk to otherwise?
All the time, but I don't know because I do talk to people.
Right.
Um, you know what I mean? Like, and I could just be anywhere, you know what I mean, in a grocery store, in a restaurant, like, just any type of situation,
Mhm.
and up in conversation, you know what I mean, with somebody,
Right.
you know what I mean, of a different culture, same culture, just anything,
Hmm.
um, I don't know if I got like that welcoming type of personality or something. I'd be thinking, you know what I mean? But
Uh-huh.
like it can just be anything.
Hmm.
Like I feel like it's so many of those. I have a lot of different examples of that.
Hmm.
Yeah, just random conversation with a stranger.
In a conversation. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was one time like this lady had I was like in a Starbucks and she had like walked up and she starts telling me like what's that, like something about like something that she was seeing with me, you know what I mean, like, oh, like and that, yeah, like that I needed to let go of some stuff, and
Really?
yeah, this was probably, I feel like maybe about 8 months ago, and she was saying about how yeah, like that I needed to like let go of some stuff, and you know what I mean, like in order for me to like move forward into the next level of things, stuff, and she was like, like a seer or something, and like she sounded like she like
Mm,
barely spoke English, like she didn't speak English very well. But,
mm,
but
mm.
I was just like, okay, and she gave me her card. She was like a palm reader, type, situation. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting, but I also felt like she was right.
Wow.
You
Wow. That's
know,
deep. That's deep.
yeah.
Welcome in,
Mhm.
Emery the Soul. Thank you for being here. We're talking about how experiences could change your views. All right, so that was a good example of that, right? And they say also your views can be changed by developing empathy, right? So when like individuals encounter situations that evoke strong emotions, right,
Mhm.
such as loss or hardship or injustice, they may develop like a greater sense of empathy for others who have experienced similar situations.
Yeah.
I could definitely relate because it's be like I can not know anything about a person or their family or something, and something happens to them, and it could like really trigger something in me. Like I feel like a deep like I feel like empathetic for them, I should say. It's like, oh
Mhm.
my God, like because I could only imagine how the family is feeling, right? How I would feel
Right.
in that situation, right?
Mhm.
Especially when it's instances where like there's injustice, when people like are being like attacked or they're being killed for no reason or something like that.
For
So
sure.
it definitely like sparked something with me. Like, oh my God, like I can't believe like this is happening. Like, why would somebody do that to them? Like, why are they treating people so inhumane or something? Right. So I can definitely understand about how that just dealing with that or seeing that experience happen, how it could change my view about something that's happened that I might not even like thought about you know,
Mhm.
might not even thought about it. But then when it's happened and it was thrown in my face, then it's like, okay, wow, like I can't
Yeah,
believe
our
that.
experience, yeah, they definitely, them experiences, they shape you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like we constantly having experiences, you know what I mean? Like every day, every moment, you know what I mean? It's like constantly experiencing, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
But yeah, that's why I try to, you know, create beautiful experiences around myself. You know what I mean? So
Child.
yeah, shaped in a beautiful way. Because
Beautiful
like
way.
he says, like no matter the experience, he says sometimes they be good, sometimes they be bad,
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, sometimes something can
Mhm.
happen. We was talking about this earlier, you know what I mean, how, certain spirit experiences can like harden you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Some of them
Mhm.
can soften you, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I remember what's that, reading a post one time when somebody was saying something about like how just like dealing with love and relationships and like like how they were going to stop being a nice guy. And I
Mm.
was like, oh my God, like I felt
Mm.
so bad for him because I was like, dang, like that mean that he done, is a nice guy that done been through a lot of stuff, you know what I mean, with
Ah,
women. And now he's like, oh, I'm gonna stop being a nice guy. And I was
stop
like,
being a nice guy.
no. Yeah,
It
like no, like please continue to be a nice guy. Like that nice woman, you know what I mean, that's out there for you is gonna find you. Like, so
it's
don't like, you know what I mean,
waiting.
just start being a mean guy and you know what I
Yes.
mean, because
Yes.
you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So we actually gonna get like going to we're gonna like really talk about it in like different ways that we can relate to a lot of situations. Because then not only like we were talking about the empathy part of it, but talking about like the shifting of the priorities, right?
Right.
Of how
Mhm.
experiences can reveal like what is truly important to the
Yeah.
individual, like lead into a reevaluation like of their values and their priorities, right? So
Mhm.
this could involve like spending more time with loved ones, like pursuing a
Yeah.
passion or making changes to their lifestyle,
Mhm.
right? I,
Mhm.
I could definitely agree with the shifting of the priorities, especially in my age, especially in my age,
Mhm.
right? Like I've had to have those hard conversations with myself. It's like, okay, girl, you need to like change something. Like if you want to be better, you got to do better or something, right?
Right. Right.
Oh,
Because if you don't make those changes, you're going to continue to
right.
get the same results.
Exactly, exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And it's like, like I'll be like consistent and I'll say, okay, I'm okay, I'm gonna chill out for a little bit. And then like you'll start to see I'll start to see like the results of me deciding to chill or deciding to just back out and take a break,
Oh,
and it
you see the results of your inactivity.
right. I'll see the results of
Mhm.
my inactivity. So then it's like, okay, girl, get your priorities right. Get your life right. Get your life
Right.
right.
Mhm.
So it's like I've been really like hard on myself. I have really been hard on myself, right? And it's like, and I feel like I have to, because if I don't, then I'll tend to like fall back a little bit, right? And then I'm unhappy with like the results of it, you know? So I have to be like, okay, you know what? If I gotta be strict, if I gotta be disciplined or whatever, then that's what it's gonna have to be. Right.
Hold on, Mika. I'm gonna come right back.
Okay. So that's like a prime example of like shifting your priorities, right? So um now we're gonna talk about like the increased like resilience. So like overcoming like challenges and setbacks can build resilience and a greater sense of self-efficacy, right? Um Individuals who have faced adversity may develop a strong belief in their ability to cope with future challenges and achieve their goals. All right, so yeah, like is that resilience for me. Like how you talk about when you're overcoming like challenges and the setbacks and stuff. I think in our last discussions we talked a little bit about how things like change your life, and how it makes you stronger. Yeah, I know I personally like overcome a lot of like challenges and experiences, and it made me like really really resilient. It made me want to like keep working, keep pushing, like keep striving, to get to that finish line, to get results that I've been waiting for or been hoping for, right? Like stuff can like really change you, like when you're like being impacted by a lot of different things or situations. So like I do can appreciate like how experiences can increase your resilience, because I think that so many different things or scenarios that happened to me in my life definitely made me strong and resilient. It definitely made me want to keep pushing, keep pushing. I always have the joke about wanting to chase the big nickel, right? I always talk about trying to take the big nickel, right? you know, yeah, and my sister could probably attest to that. Like we had those discussions all the time. Like I'm always trying my hand or something, or trying something, or keep pushing and pushing and pushing myself, right?
Mhm.
Always pushing myself. Right. So yeah, I was talking about like the increased resilience, right? About like how you can overcome challenges and setbacks can help build resilience, right?
Right.
Like, and a lot of times I say when people have like faced adversity, they get a stronger belief in their ability, right? To
Mm,
cope
mhm.
with your challenges, right? So
Mhm.
like, do you
Mhm.
have any examples of how you overcame challenges, setbacks, and how it built resilience in your life?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I could think of a few of them, but one specifically that has like, kind of helped, that I turned into a stepping stone, um, recently. Well, I don't want to say recently, but a few years ago. Um, like when I'm told that I can't do something. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Like, say like if it's like something that I want to do, and then
mhm.
somebody be like, "Oh, like you can't do that," and it is like, nah, like I don't know, like it just sends me like full force into it even
Mhm.
more. It'd be like them telling me that I can't or something. I don't know. It seems like it just like helps turn me up. Like, no, I
You up.
can, and I'll show you that I can. You know what I mean? It's like if it's something that I want to do, like yeah, like I just yeah, like it just makes me go harder into it, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like instead of like instead of letting it shrink me,
Right,
um,
right.
yeah, I just let it. I let it. It's like it just turned me all the way up. It was
Turn
like,
you on.
oh, okay, and it's like I'm not even doing it for them. It's like I'm doing it to prove it to myself. You know what I mean? To show me, like, no, like, nah, like we can do this. We got this. Like, you know what I
Mhm,
mean? Yeah.
mhm, 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 mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because sometimes they say like turn that no into a yes, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
When people start like doubting you or saying, "Oh, you're not going to be capable," and I feel like that I have a sense of that too. Like when somebody says that I can't do something, or they think I can't do it, and then I'm
Mhm.
setting out to prove them wrong.
Yeah. It
Right?
makes me feel like okay, like you don't know nothing about me.
They don't know
You know
nothing
what I'm
about me.
saying?
They,
Like, oh, I can't. Okay.
uh-huh, uh-huh,
Be
uh-huh.
like, all right, well. watch this or don't watch. I really don't care, but Mhm.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, like building your resilience to show that you can and you are capable
Mhm.
of doing it, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's examples of how experiences can change your views about something. You'd be like, all right, I have people thinking that I can't, and they doubting me,
Mhm.
and you know what? I got that frame of mind that I can do it. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna show 'em at the end
Right,
of the
right.
day.
And look, and it's like that be changing and shaping your views about yourself and that person.
Exactly,
You
exactly,
know?
exactly, exactly. 'Cause I
Yeah.
feel like that's a hard one too. Like when you
Mhm.
have that person that tried to put that seed of doubt into you, right?
Right. Mhm.
That seed of doubt to you to make you feel like that you're less than or you're incapable. You
Right.
know, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
I can definitely resonate and relate to that one about rebuilding resilience, right?
Mhm.
Hello, Miss Micaiah. Thank you for coming in. Um,
Say my name, Makaya. Mhm.
so we were talking about how experiences could change your views, right? And we've
Mhm.
given like, different examples so far, but we want to dive deeper into it like we always do.
Mhm.
So they said like experiencing different cultures,
Mhm.
customs, and ways of life can broaden one's horizons.
For sure, for sure.
Challenge it. And challenge those preconceived notions. Yes.
Mhm.
Woo! Cha 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 cha. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
Yeah. I could definitely agree with that. Like, especially like when you're raised like in a box and you're used to like only a certain way of life or a certain type of people or a certain way of seeing things, and then you get out and you broaden your horizons, and
Yes.
it's like, huh,
Right.
like I definitely found myself here lately, like definitely broadening my horizons, stepping outside of my box, stepping outside of my comfort zone,
Mhm.
experiencing things that I probably would never even thought about.
Yes, like boba tea.
Child, that part,
Yes.
that
Yes, like
part.
I know how you are with food.
Girl,
You be like, "I'm gonna try this for the very first time."
child, listen, I've had a lot of trying this for the very first time experience.
Yes.
Child, that's why I'm like, cause y'all know me so well. So it's like when y'all like challenge me to be like, you got just try, let's try, let's try. Like
Yes.
it definitely be like, okay, you know what? This is a step outside of the box moment.
Yes.
I like I
I
can't I,
love it.
I can't knock it until I tried it,
Right.
And surprisingly, a lot of things that I have tried from that step out the box moment has definitely changed my view on it.
Yes.
Right? It's like I
Yes.
thought I would never like this, and I end up liking it.
Mhm. Yes. Like me, like I love trying like just different food from different cultures and stuff. Like I
Uh-huh.
remember like the first time I had Ethiopian food. Um
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And like and like with the injera bread and even like eating with your fingers because like you use the bread to eat it. Like they don't give you a fork and spoon and all of that stuff. You use the bread.
Really?
Oh, Mika, yeah, we have to go get Ethiopian food. Now I
Wow.
wanna take you. Now I wanna
Yeah.
take you. Yes. Yes.
Wow. So
Yep, but you eat
bread serves as your utensil.
it basically,
Okay.
you take the piece of bread and then you put it on the food and that's how you eat it.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like it's
Now you had
delicious.
me want to try it.
Yeah, but like the first time I had it, it's almost like I don't know, like it seemed like such a strange concept to me. I almost felt like I didn't even like it. Like I didn't like the bread or everything. It just seemed like I don't know.
Mhm.
But then but it was something that was like, all right, like no, like try it again. What I mean? It seemed like the flavors and things, that was kind of good, but it was like, no, like I need a fork, what I mean, type of
Right,
thing.
right.
Mind you, this was like 25 years ago, you
Oh
know.
dang.
But
Oh
I was
man.
thinking that, like, oh, like, no, like, I need a fork. But then it was like I went back again, and then by like the third time I had it, I don't know, it was like I was just in love with it. It was like, yo, like I love Ethiopian food. You
Wow.
know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like, yeah, it's
Wow.
delicious. I love it.
I've never tried Ethiopian food, so I guess I'm gonna have to try that so I can say that I have tried it. I could try it.
Yes, I can recommend a couple places too. Yeah, like the
Child.
Dalak. Dalak is one, Abyssinia is another, and Gojo. Go, they all out in like West Philly area, but those are two places that I've had. I had Abyssinia recently.
Okay.
Yeah, like right after I was in Malcolm X Park for the Juneteenth parade out there, and so yeah, that's what we did later on. Went to Abyssinia and had some Ethiopian food, and it was delicious. Mhm. Yep, and
Okay.
I also love like Thai food.
Mhm.
Like Thai food, like the vegetable pad Thai. I get that like with the peanut sauce. And I remember thinking, I was like, peanut sauce, like, ugh, no, I don't want no peanut sauce. But then I had it and it was delicious.
Really? With the peanut
Yeah,
sauce?
with the
Wow.
peanut sauce. Yeah, you gotta go to Banana Leaf down in Chinatown.
Banana leaf. Okay. Okay.
Banana
Okay.
Leaf.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to picture peanut sauce. So they must like really grind it and make it real like saucy and all that stuff,
It's
right? Okay.
good. It's good. I'm gonna say, see, I'm like, yeah, we good, child. Like this, so we need to start doing like, maybe like once a month or something. We can go to a different place.
Yeah.
Try something you never tried before.
Yeah, I step out the box. I feel like the most exotic thing now. Did have a lot of step out the box moments. I know when you got me to try bean pie. Never tried that before.
Yeah.
Right. I
You
feel
like
like
bean
my
pie,
most.
but I was the same way. I was like bean pie. Like, all right, so like you take beans and make a pie? Like, no. And I was like, But then you have it, and it's like, okay, this is delicious. Can I have it? You got some more? Like, what else they making bean?
Right.
But like, yes, this woman, she was making bean pies out of everything. I mean, all right, like she used like kidney beans to make bean pies. What else? She used navy beans to make the bean pies, but she was also doing like the carrot pie, and I was like that. But it almost reminded me of like sweet potato pie.
Really?
But
Oh
yes.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
she only comes out like around the holidays, and she be at the shop right on Sheltonham
Mhm.
Avenue.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. She be making some interesting pies out of just different kind of stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but
Mhm.
I would say probably the most eclectic thing I've tried out of all the stuff out of the box moments was the octopus. When I say it had the tentacles and everything,
Yeah.
close to
You can
everything.
taste
Now,
it.
mind you, had you asked me in a million years in my lifetime, why I had ever tried some octopus, honey, with the tentacles and everything. Listen, they got me on video with eating a piece of octopus, okay, with tentacles. Like you
Oh,
should
good.
like so you wouldn't even try it. I'm crying. Girl, listen. Like I was like, nobody would believe that I ate a piece of octopus with some tentacles. Okay.
For real. Cause I'm like, Mika, you don't even be liking like peppers and onions and stuff. You know what I mean? Like you ate some
Okay.
octopus.
Okay. Okay. Yes. I would say that was probably one of the farlandish things I've ever done. And thanks
Yeah.
to your nephew, he was like, "Mom, step out the box. Step out
Oh
the
my
box."
goodness. No, I'm gonna stay in
I'm
my box for that
gonna
one.
step out the box and say I tried some octopus. But,
Mm-mm.
however, do
You
I
didn't
think
like it?
try it again? Probably not.
Hey.
But it definitely
Mhm.
changed my view that people shouldn't eat it. I mean, it wasn't bad. I can understand it wasn't
Mhm.
bad, but it was the texture for me.
Yes.
In the
Tasting the tentacles.
the tentacles did it for me. The tentacles did it
Yes.
for me. So I was
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, it wasn't bad though. It wasn't. I can say it was not
Was
bad,
it
but
fried?
it was not fried.
Oh my gosh. It was
It was.
ugly, wasn't it?
It was ugly. Yes, I'm about to see that picture and video of me actually eating it, child.
Oh
Yes,
my gosh.
the texture of it. It was like okay, like never thought in a million years that I would eat some octopus. So yeah,
Octopus for real. But hey, you
yeah.
can say I did it.
I
Just
did.
mark that
I
one off
did.
the
I did.
list.
Girl, listen. Listen, yeah, I gotta literally go down and write a list of things that I tried that I probably never thought I would try, and give
Yeah.
my honest thought and opinion on did I like it? Will I give it a thumbs up? Will I try it again? Or was it a
Yes.
okay, I
That's
can
like
say
some
I tried.
places that be having that be serving like frog legs and stuff like that.
Never tried frog legs.
Never tried frog legs. I'm gonna say, yeah, I was offered recently. Somebody was talking about, oh, I'm gonna take you somewhere and you can have some frog legs, and I was like, don't, not never. Sorry. Like some things that they just not gonna do, and I'm
If
okay with that.
I change oh man, yeah, that is hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, but them different cultures and stuff, and things, them step out the box moments can broaden your horizons. I've definitely had a lot of changes in view just by trying different things. So I can
Yes,
agree with that. And then they said your views can be changed from like personal relationships, right? So
absolutely.
like forming like close relationships with people like from diverse backgrounds can foster
Hmm.
understanding. Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
and yes.
and yes, and yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yep, yep. It's like somebody could come in with them different views and change your whole life.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Right. And I always consider myself a person that do embrace all types of people. I do. I do.
Mhm.
It's like I figure like when I feel like I got a connection with you or you're relatable, then like okay, I can vibe with you. We might be totally from two different backgrounds. We might not look the same. We might come from different type of family dynamics or something like that. But
Mhm.
it's like if I feel like that, we genuinely connect on some level, then it's like I don't like care about your diversity or whatever or
Right,
care about
right.
your
Because
birth
at the end of the
background.
day, people are people.
People are people. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Thank you so much for coming in. We see we got some new people in the chat. We were talking
Mhm.
about how experiences can change your views. So thank you for dropping in for our live today. Yes, yes, yes. I have formed a lot of close relationships from people from different backgrounds. So
Mhm.
so like that has definitely changed my views about certain types of people from different backgrounds. So I can definitely relate to that. And then
Yeah.
in my line of work, I work with different type of people. So
Mhm.
you have to like be open minded. Um,
For sure.
because if not, you're gonna be miserable. And it takes a team, and people from all walks of life are a part of your team.
Mhm.
So you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not embracing and open
Yeah.
to diversity, right?
Mhm.
So
Right.
yeah, so I can definitely see how that can like definitely change your views. I say another way too that can change your views is acts of service. Like so,
Mhm.
like volunteering or helping others can provide a
Mhm.
new perspective on challenges faced by other people and inspires a sense of purpose just by
Right.
doing an act of service.
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, like whether it's like helping out the elderly or like doing something at a soup kitchen or, like just anything. Yeah,
Yes,
help you empathize, yeah, with people, you know what I mean? And you be getting like a whole different experience, what I mean, something that's outside of yourself, you know.
exactly, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely like that. Like I love helping, the elderly. They have a soft spot in my heart when I see it. It's like, yeah, I definitely
Mhm.
I definitely do. Um,
Yeah. I love working with children because I feel like they're so impressionable, and it's like
mhm.
you can, plant seeds, what I'm saying, that are just going to grow and blossom, what I mean, for them, and they'll, remember you, well into their later life, what I mean. Like, I used to work as a school police officer, and
Mhm.
so just being in the schools and stuff, and then like seeing some of them children later on, what I mean, that be like remembering me and stuff, what I mean, it'd be cool. Yeah, or
Uh-huh.
even like when I did like the crochet club at Emlyn. And
Mhm.
what I mean, still seeing like some of them children that be like, yeah, I still crochet, kind of thing and stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, yeah,
hey.
it'd be nice. Yeah.
It's nice, nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I feel like that's the probably the rewarding part for me for working with the kids. But
Mhm.
when they move on, they still remember
Mhm.
you and they stop by to see you and stuff like that. That's probably the
Right.
rewarding part. Like outside of all the other stuff that comes along with teaching and working with the babies,
Yeah.
that to me is the rewarding part of it. So I definitely can relate and resonate with that part of it. Just,
Yeah.
when you kind of make an impact or impression on a young baby or young,
Mhm.
I call them, and they can come back to you and remember how you impacted their life or something. Um,
Mhm.
Thank you for coming in, everybody. We are from the United States. Thank you for dropping in. We are discussing how experiences can change your views. How experiences can
Mhm.
change your views. Yeah, but so I definitely agree. That you got my connection on that. The babies definitely can change your perspective and views on stuff. Yeah, they say like overcoming adversities.
Mm.
Yes. So, like facing and overcoming challenges can build resilience and a greater appreciation for life.
For sure. For sure.
Sure, for sure. Overcoming challenges. Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes, yes.
Most people think they know Saint Martin from those viral.
Yes,
My bad.
that whole a greater appreciation for life for me. Yes,
Mhm.
honey, honey, honey. Yep.
Mhm.
Then they say like exposure to new ideas. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming in. Um, yeah, so like reading or attending like lectures or engaging in discussions about new ideas can broaden one's intellectual horizons and challenge their
Definitely.
beliefs. Yes.
Yeah.
Woo! Child. Mm-mm-mm. It's, it's like every time like I watch a lecture or something or I read something, it's like, wow, like I didn't think about that. Like it definitely might change my perspective or that light bulb might go off and it's like, okay, now I have a new idea centered around like what I heard or something. Right.
Mhm.
So I definitely like that exposure to new ideas that could definitely change your views on things. Right.
Right. Right.
So
That's
so
why I think
I
it's good to read. I think that, sometimes you see them posts and they be like, try to read for at least like 15 minutes a day or, something like that stuff because it does. Like I said, these things that bring you out of your box, help you learn something new, helps, keep firing off, them different, pathways in your brain and stuff.
mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know, it's like if you just, constantly running around the same circles,
Yeah,
what I'm saying? You're only gaining what you already, like, no, like you're not expanding yourself.
exactly,
It's like,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly, exactly. So I definitely agree with like broadening the horizons, right? Broadening the horizons.
Definitely.
Yep. So they like pretty much saying like experiences play a crucial role, like in shaping your perspectives, right?
Yeah.
And influencing like how you view the world,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yep. So they said like, but like by seeking out like new experiences and reflecting like on the impact they can have on you, like it can like foster like some growth, even development, like your empathetic views or like make your life more meaningful just by like trying something different or going through different type of experiences.
Yeah.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
now you have had some examples of like how experiences change you.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to say something about, how even just like, like when I'm, talking to people about doing like the sound healing and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, and it'd be like, because, like they might not really think, like much of it, what I mean? But then it'd be like once you experience it, what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, that's when you really get a chance to, see the benefits or feel the benefits.
Right. Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So we are kind of talking about like how they can change your views. So now let's kind of just go into like life altering experiences, right? So life altering experiences like can like really like shift your perspective, um
Mm-hmm.
and reshape your views. Like I said, they could range from like your personal challenges, and your triumphs, you know, to even like being exposed to like new environments.
Mhm.
And we talked a little bit about like even like overcoming adversities or like achieving like a personal growth or something.
Yeah.
Can like help gain like a deeper understanding like for yourself and like others, right? So
Mhm.
a lot of these we kind of like talked about, we kind of like led into it, where this kind of dive into and just like give like examples of our own personal experiences. So one is like we talked about like overcoming like a personal challenge, like being able to confront and overcome a fear, or
Mhm.
like navigating through like a difficult illness or experiencing a major loss or something, right?
Mhm.
So that's considered like a life altering experience, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes. So
Mhm.
woo! Okay, so
I have
with that,
one.
that is what you consider like trying to overcome like a personal challenge. And I think about the part when they're saying like confronting and like overcoming a fear.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, like I was just thinking about like things just like growing up, like different experiences that I feel like no kid should have to like deal with, and like just like being afraid to be in certain situations or certain environments. And like as an adult, I think about like, oh my God, like I can't believe like I went through that. Like I definitely went through that, and like didn't realize like how impacted I was by
Mhm.
those experiences. Um, but I think about how I like overcame like the fear of being around like I would say like being like loud noises, or um you know like violence, like stop like thinking every time I'm in like a certain area or a certain um like surrounding that like something like bad is going to happen,
Right.
you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I feel like it took me a
Yeah.
while to get over that.
Oh, I'm like, yeah. No, I was just thinking, like, trauma is, yeah, definitely, yeah, impacts you, shapes you. Traumatic
Mm-hmm,
experiences.
mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm,
Mhm.
mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I feel like I've overcome a lot of that, to where I'm not like fearful to be around in certain situations or environments, whatever. But yeah, but I think it took a while to really like navigate through that and say, no, no,
Right.
I'm not going to that area. I'm not going to that neighborhood. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be
Mhm.
around this type of thing. So I definitely can appreciate that experience, because it allowed me to confront it, right? And
Mhm.
like being able to overcome it. So now I could be in that situation, environment, and feel like more comfortable, you know,
Mhm.
and not be afraid of it. Then they talk about like when you're navigating through like a difficult illness, you know.
Yes. Like what I went through.
Yes.
Well, I
Yeah.
wouldn't even. I mean, I can't really call it like a illness. I mean, I just had like the situation, like where my blood levels are extremely low, and but it was like like I had the flu, which took me to the hospital. But then the,
Mhm.
the nurse came in, the doctor came in, like, like, how is it that you not, like even alive? You know what I'm saying? Because my blood levels were so low,
Mhm.
um, that she was just like, had I not come in the hospital, she said I would have just like probably passed out somewhere and, what I mean, went to sleep, died or something.
Yeah.
What I mean? And I had to get 2 blood transfusions. And so, like, I felt like that was a life altering for me. Um,
Mhm.
Even like just being in the hospital and everything, it all just felt so like traumatic. And what I mean, like I felt like I needed a support group or something afterwards. Like I needed to talk to somebody about it. Like just the whole experience, even like watching the blood going, what I mean, myself hooked up getting blood. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like it just all just seemed like a lot, you know, like just at the time, it was a lot. It was a lot
Mm-hmm.
for me, but I don't know. It's like it's just the way that it altered me in the sense of like wanting to like wanting to live in my fullest, you know, live in my authenticity, you know what I'm saying? And just like
Right.
yeah, wanting to be. It was like it just seemed like nothing before that like mattered anymore or something, you know what I mean? It was like, all right, like being in the here and now, like what is it that I want out of life? You know
Mm.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it was like, all right, like it was almost like me feeling like I had like a second chance at life or something. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And so it's like, all right, like how do I want life to be? Like what does life mean to me? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And yeah. It's just I like I felt altered, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And it did, and it helped me make some changes. Um, yeah, you know what I mean? Like and easily, you know what I mean, you know, too. It was like, all right, like I'm not stressing
Mm-hmm.
anymore, you know, like I'm here to live, you
There you
know, and
go.
it's like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so that was all I was thinking about, like, all right, like, okay, I wanna live, I'm gonna live, how am I gonna live? You know, and yeah, it's like just all about living.
All about living. I know that's
All
right.
about living. Yeah.
I know that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that time, you know, in your life. Like I can't like personally like relate. I've never had to have like a blood transfusion or anything like that, but I could
Mhm.
imagine how that can be like life altering, like really like make you think and like make some changes. Like wow, like I needed this to like survive and live. Like I was like near death. Like that
Right. That's what it
crazy,
felt like, a near-death experience.
crazy. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you were able to navigate through that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And they say a lot of times, like when you like experiencing like a major loss or something, like
Mm.
how to like reassess your values and priorities and stuff. And I know
Mhm.
that like especially in the last few years, experiencing a lot of loss with like close family member, people that was really close to us, and it's like oh, you don't think like wow, like how am I going to like navigate through that without this person like being here, right? Um,
Mhm.
and it's definitely like for me put like a new perspective on things and stuff, and it made me like I've always wanted to be around family, but it really like the more like I'm losing people around me, the more it really like it's like no, like I have to like stay connected with family, like I have
Yeah.
to like stay close to family, like I have to try to keep family together, you know,
Right.
just because so many like what's happening back to back to back to back to back. It was just
Yeah.
happening so much. And it just
Mhm.
gave me a new perspective, like how life is just actually so short. It's so short, you know, like
Yes.
talking to somebody in earlier in the day and then they're gone later at night. Like that crazy.
Right.
That
Right.
crazy. Like,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So it definitely did
Yeah.
reassess a
Reminds
lot
you
of
to
things.
cherish life.
How it's
Yeah.
definitely made me like reassess a lot of things because that's it hits so close to home. It's like life is literally so short. It's literally so short.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um and
Mhm.
then it's another life altering thing is like when you're like trying to like achieve like that personal growth, right? Like examples
Right.
like when you try to do like a marathon or something, right? You achieve that goal by saying, okay, I've never done a marathon. I'm gonna try to do a marathon or something like that. Um, even starting a business, right? Or like trying a new skill. So for me, it's like trying to start a business. I think we talked about last last week about starting a business and like the entrepreneurship aspect of it and stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah. Um achieving personal growth is a big one that can really change your views. I you know, when I feel like when I achieve something or get through it, that I definitely like feel like, okay, I got over that hump, and like I can like say I achieved something. But I definitely had those experiences where it's like, okay, I do need to build like a little more confidence and a sense of accomplishment,
Mhm.
you know, and trying to like grow, like do it like something like professionally, or something that I set out to do, just see it like really materialize and see it like grow to where I can say, wow, like I did that, you know.
Mhm. So you feel proud of yourself.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then we talked a little bit about like the relationships, like, so another one that could really like change your life, that I can totally agree with, when they say like when you're falling in love with somebody, you fall in love for like the first time, or that new fresh love, how it can change your views about things
I'm listening.
when you fall in love, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, and it's amazing like how some people say, I've never been in love before, you
Really?
know. Right,
Mhm.
some people have like never fallen in love, and then when they do, and it's like a new enlightenment, or like they feel like new, like, oh my god, like this is what love feels like I've had somebody literally say that to me like a few years back. It was like, I've never been in love, like this is what love is like, this is what love feel like, yeah,
Oh,
like it definitely changed your views and your outlook on love, because
yeah.
they totally didn't think they were ever fell in love. They was like, you know, who wants to be in love, you know. They had this
Mhm.
whole like thought that love was not a good thing,
Right.
so they actually fell in love.
I hear you.
Right, so
Yes.
definitely changed their views, right, and their perspective about
Mhm.
love. And another way that your life could be altered is like when you have like the birth of a child. I could totally,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
definitely life changing, right.
Mhm.
And I remember like, you know, before I became a mom, it's like, okay, um I had this idea that I was gonna, my first kids were gonna be twins. I don't know why.
Mhm.
My first kid was gonna be twins. I was like, I'm gonna have these twins, a little boy, a little
Mhm.
girl, and that's gonna be it, right?
Mhm.
Ah. Mm, mm, mm. So okay, I had my first, and that was an experience. It's like I enjoy motherhood. I think I was not quite as prepared for the experience of like having the birth of child, right?
Mhm.
Not ready for that experience, right? So it's like, okay, like this little person is here. I mean, I love her so much, you know. It's like, okay, I don't think I could do this again. Right. From just
Mhm.
just from that whole experience, right? But I would say that just like being a mom, and although like the experience of like birthing a child for the first time was like a rough experience.
Mhm.
Like I always tell you my joke. I always tell your niece, like, you had me in the bed for 2 days, girl. Yeah, had me for labor for 2 days, right?
Wow.
I always, you had me in labor for 48 hours, and she'd be like, whatever, mom. Yeah, so I was like, I was like, okay, I don't know if I be able to do it again, because that experience
Mhm.
definitely took a lot out of me. But
Mhm.
after like, you know, being a mom, and you know, getting through that challenging part, it's like, okay, yeah, I definitely could see myself, you know, being a
Doing it
mom for my
again.
family and things, you know. So
Mhm.
I'll definitely change my view on like wanting more, and not having that one and done.
Right. Mhm.
Like I thought initially, right? So what about you? Like, how was the experience for you? Like when you like had your kids, my
Mhm.
darling nieces and nephews.
Yeah. Well, with Tara, I had Tara natural, and I remember thinking like, that I didn't want to, like have like an epidural or anything like that and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it seemed like like I feel like I literally like felt my body like opening up, you know what I mean, like, you know, for release. You know, and I
Mm.
remember like just kind of stopping everything and just being like, whoa, you know how it's like all the pain and everything. And it just seemed like in that moment, it just seemed like there was just this moment where it was just like this pause for me. And it's like just feeling my body like just open up to let her, you know, come out, you know what I mean? And so I don't know. I remember thinking that I felt like that was something that like every mother, you know, should experience. You know what I mean? I would feel like that, like, you know, when we do these other things, you know what I mean, it's like, you know, like we kind of block that experience, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
But with my second two, Isis, um she was laying sideways, like she was
Mm.
trying to come butt first, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean, like back first, you know, and
Mhm.
like just laying sideways. And so I had to have a C-section with her. And then
Mhm.
so it was the same thing with Obasi. You know, it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, they just wasn't even going to allow me to you know, to have, you know, a natural birth, you know, after having a C-section. But I was glad that I had the chance to experience that.
Had to experience it.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They had the chance to experience natural, you know, natural childbirth, you
Yes.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was a beautiful experience.
It's definitely a beautiful thing when they finally giving birth. Um.
Yeah, and like that, it was like the relief that happened and, you know, everything and stuff, you know,
It's
and
never.
especially, yeah. And I've been at some childbirths, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, and stuff, yeah, just like, you know what I mean, uh like being a doula, you know what I mean, like I love that, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
and being there, you know, for women and, you know, helping them to feel like really comfortable and everything and stuff to assist in, you know, that beautiful experience of, you know, giving birth.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
because yeah, it's such a wonderful and beautiful thing. You know what I mean? It's like just to be a part of and yeah, you know what I mean, helping women through, yeah. Yeah, I do. I like that. Like I could see, like I was going through the classes and all of that stuff at one time, you know what I mean, just to like, for like even for like midwifery and things and stuff. Yeah, it's like,
Mhm.
like just like it's that portal, you know what I mean? That portal, you know what I mean, from like, from like one, one room into another.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so
Mhm.
like supporting women, you know what I mean, like with that, and even helping them to have, like a really grand experience. You know what I mean, helping them to have experience that I wish I could have had. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah, I'm glad that I did get a chance to experience it though.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely different. Definitely different when you're actually giving birth. Like I said, I went
Mhm.
through labor. That part was not fun.
Yeah.
Getting beat up and get my butt kicked the whole time. But once I
Mhm.
actually gave birth, it was like, wow, okay, this is what it's like.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all the joys, all the pain and suffering was worth it at the
It's
end.
all worth it.
It was worth it at the end. So it definitely changed my
Mhm.
view of thinking like, okay, this is it. I'm not going through this more. You know what I mean? Like that's why I said I was able to be open to the idea of having more after that. You
Mhm.
know, so I didn't let that moment of all the labor process like stamp my decision to say, okay, I can't do this after this no more. You know.
Mhm.
It definitely like opens up my mind and point of view to okay, that's
Mhm.
all part of the process. All part of the
Yeah,
process.
but you know, how, like you hear women they say that like, no, I ain't doing this no more and stuff. But it's like after a while, it's like you kind of forget. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? How traumatic it. How traumatic it can be.
Exactly. Like when you're
Yeah.
in the thick of it, you go to the moment, but then after you actually, like you said, your body opens up and you give birth, just like wow, okay, wow,
Mhm.
all that. It's like okay, now finally, yeah, my child is here, and it was all worth it at the end, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so it definitely changed like my thought process on like okay, no, that's it, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Mhm.
definitely life altering. Right.
Yeah.
Um, and then it said like when you like reconnect with a lost loved one, like someone that you like lost touch with, and stuff, and then you reconnect and stuff. That could be life changing. Like somebody you reconnect with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. It could deepen your relationship.
Yeah, yeah, because it'd be like, all right, cause you know how they say, like, if you love something, you let it go, and it come back to you, it's yours.
That part.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
part. That part. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like you don't understand that when, like, I know for me, like growing up, I always be like, well, no, I don't think that if it's done, they might not come back or whatever. But it's interesting. I think I've only had that happen to me once in
Yeah.
my life that I had to like let something go, let a relationship go, And I thought it was like I felt like it was setting them free, you know, because
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to be what they needed, you know.
Mhm.
And I said, I still have a lot of growing to do. I'm ready to live my life. They were seeing things in a different perspective. So no, like I want you to be along for this ride with me. And I'm like, I'm not trying to do this ride with you, right?
Mhm.
I'm not trying to just ride with you. Like you have your life, you have your career, you're established. Go ahead, live your life. You know what I mean? I'm
Mhm.
willing to let it go. Like if it's meant for us to be together and connect, it will happen. If
Right.
like you said, you let it go, let it set it free, set it free. So I definitely,
Yeah.
I definitely set it free, and it actually
Mhm.
came back around, definitely came.
Yeah. Yeah. I can relate to that.
Yes, yes,
You know what
yes.
I'm saying? Yes. Yeah.
I'm crying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Sometimes it's timing.
the timing. Mhm.
Yeah, sometimes it's just timing and you know what I mean? But it's like, we're all constantly learning and growing and changing. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And so sometimes it's like, sometimes it's better timing.
Yeah,
You
sometimes
know.
the timing plays a lot, and it definitely does. Definitely does.
Mhm.
So I can agree. I can agree. It can definitely can deepen a relationship, especially when you let it go and y'all reach.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. And then, when it comes back around, what I mean, and it's like, yeah, what I mean, not wanting to lose it again or, what I mean, just all the discussions and everything and stuff, what I mean, about, what happened or, what I mean, and making sure that, what I mean, like looking at it, from a different perspective of how
Right.
it can grow, this time or, how y'all can stay together that second time
Mm,
around and stuff
mm,
like that.
mm, mm.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Love it. Love it. And then we kind of talked about a little bit about being exposed to like different cultures, like new cultures, right? Like
Mhm.
traveling to a foreign country,
Mm.
right?
Yes, yes, yes. That was
Girl,
like
let's talk
so
about
because
that.
I went to Haiti. Remember I went to Haiti and
Yes,
so
yes.
it was like I was so curious, what I mean, like, it's just as far as what it was like because of everything that I had heard about Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought it was really, really beautiful. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
had such a beautiful time, beautiful experience while I was there. And
Mm.
and you know how like I remember thinking, so like, just like, with this, American, what I mean, mind that I have, what I mean, and then being there and I just thought that they were so happy. You know what I mean? And I remember as saying like, it was like, do they know that they're poor? Or you know what I mean? Like because they, like they're not walking around angry and mad and stuff. It's bonjour, bonjour, you know what I mean? Like constantly.
Uh-huh.
And whereas like in America, what I mean, it seems like, when folks are, like, what I mean, in a more poor situation, you just don't see that level of like happiness and support.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I don't know, what I
Exactly.
mean, like it's the way that, the children like are here, what I mean, in low income, what I mean, situations versus the way that the children are there, what I mean, that are, in low income, situations. It was just the respect level was just
Mm-hmm.
so different. I was like, wow, I was amazed. I was
Wow.
amazed. Yeah.
Wow.
And just like
Wow.
the people and the children, and I'm gonna say, I was like, do they know? You know what I mean? I was like, do they know that they poor? You know what I mean? Like, because
Mhm.
they I don't know. I just thought it just seemed like happy people, and and that just wasn't what I was thinking I was going to see.
See?
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, but I don't know, it was just maybe it's just what I was exposed to and what I attracted in my experience.
Right.
Um, I
Right.
loved it. Like I thought it was
Yeah.
beautiful. You know what I mean? The places that they took me to, the restaurants, the food was good. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
like at schools, like,
mm,
like what they was eating for like, breakfast and lunch and everything. I was like, man, like they get having real food every day. You know what I mean? Not the good
wow.
stuff that we be having in, in our school systems, you
Mm-hmm,
know.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
yep, the children, they was just so like polite and like when it was time to line up, they all line up, you know what I mean, their clothes, you know what I mean, like cuz they wear uniforms and stuff.
mm-hmm.
The uniformity was just on point. Like, I don't know,
Wow.
these children was fantastic. You know what I mean? I was like,
Wow.
they were polite. It was just
Mm,
madam, very polite children. We went up into the mountains, and I don't know, I just
mm,
loved it. It was like I loved it, just like it was just even like it was just way more than I expected, or
mm.
and I didn't really know what to expect, but it was
Yeah.
such a beautiful experience. Like I just like wanted to go back,
Mm.
and it was like, and I was hearing so much about Haiti, you know what I mean? Even, people being like, oh, you're gonna get kidnapped, all kind of stuff. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And being like, oh, like what's that? They was talking about it being like, gangs and stuff like that. I was hearing all kind of things that when I got there, I didn't see any of that stuff that I was hearing about. Like what I saw in my
Wow.
own eyes and what I experienced, it was just
Yeah.
love and joy and beauty, and what I mean, but I don't know, how they say, how we attract, I mean, certain things, because somebody else might have gone the same time I went, and he had a whole different experience. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Had a whole
Right.
different experience. Be like, what part of Haiti
Right.
was you at? You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like I was in Port-au-Prince. Um, and even like when we like walked through like the neighborhoods and stuff, and like how everything was close, and it was like the 10 houses and stuff, and
Mm.
I mean, and like, but people, they was like making their stuff and like living their lives and stuff, but they was, I don't know, they just seemed full of joy to
Yeah.
me.
That's
Like they
awesome.
seemed joyful, you know what I mean? And I didn't expect that. Like folks, everybody just like, I mean, like I said, walking through, them little areas and stuff, you know what I mean? I don't know. It was great. You know what I mean? Like I really so that's why I'll be like now, like that I've been like, like, and I'll be like, I have this love for Haiti.
Yeah.
I have this
Okay.
love for Haiti. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I
Wow.
got to work. Like I said, I
Wow.
worked in a school. I was there for
Yeah.
2 weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
worked in a school with the children. I was teaching them jewelry making and stuff, and it was like everybody, like they were just so appreciative. But you know how like, and we working with beads and all kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because at first I was kind of nervous, like, okay, they gonna be throwing stuff at each other. What? None of that.
Uh,
No, when I tell you, and them children, they came, they cleaned up, they made sure everything was like back in the cases and stuff. I didn't have to tell nobody to do anything. I didn't have to say, oh, make sure you put this back, clean this up. Child, it's like I'll be talking to one of the teachers. I look back around, everything was cleaned up.
wow.
Everything was cleaned up. Like that was like these children, they well behaved and
Mm,
polite.
mm,
Well
mm,
behaved and polite.
mm.
I was
Wow.
like, wow.
That
Yes.
is amazing. That is
Yes.
amazing. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you say this, I'm like always so in awe. I'm always so in awe because that it just makes me want to like experience like what Haiti is actually like, because by being in the States you get so many different stereotypes about
Mm-hmm.
Haiti and the people, and it's like it's nice to hear like firsthand from someone that's lived it, that's experienced it, that
Mm-hmm.
enjoys it, that would love to go back. Like so, it
Yes.
definitely like
Go
gives me
back.
like a new, like perspective. Like okay, wow, like I can see
Mm-hmm.
myself going to visit Haiti now,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
it shows that it definitely like impacted you and it changed your views. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Because I feel like people tried to make me feel like it was a scary place. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know,
Yeah.
like people try to
Yeah.
make me feel like it was a scary place, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? At
Yeah.
all, at
Mm.
all. You
Mm.
know, I'm saying it was
Mm.
like, you know what I mean? Like, so like I went out and I was out in the marketplace and everything. And I'm saying like them people, they were so nice. The people
Mm.
were kind. It was like, not, it was like, you know, I don't know, I feel like, you know, like they try to take care of each other. You know what I
Nice.
mean? That's what I was like, all right, like, okay, you know, like, do they know that they poor?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, like this is how, you know what I mean? But yeah, they didn't seem
Mm.
like, you know, less fortunate or anything like that. You know what I mean? From an American standpoint, you can
Right.
see like how, okay, you know what I mean, you know, they don't have new this or new that, or, you know what I mean, the houses are small or and they close together, and you know what I mean? It's so different. Like, you know, like it's like like we're the street, you know what I mean? And like just how we had to walk to get to the school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was just like the roads and stuff. Everything is very different. Like just in
Different.
Port-au-Prince, you know, because everything is really close. Like there's like it's not a lot of like they filling every empty space. You know what I'm
Oh, okay.
saying?
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like it was just houses everywhere and some on top of each other, and you know what I mean? Um, but like, you know, I didn't experience any sort of violence, or I didn't even see it. You know what I mean? I didn't
Mm.
even see it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was there, I had the roommate that I was with, she was telling me like, you know, because she travels a lot and
Mm-hmm.
she goes out to the beaches and stuff, and she was saying how you have to be careful and you know different things like that and stuff, and you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because but like they have like motor taxis like on a motorcycle where somebody you jump on somebody's motorcycle and they'll take you where you gotta go, you know, type of
Oh,
stuff.
okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, like cause the roads is like this one really long road, and it's really, really crowded. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, so it's like it's almost like better to take like a motorcycle taxi, what they call a motor taxi. They kind
Oh,
of, you know,
okay.
cut through different, you know, areas
Okay.
and stuff so that it kind of help you get where you're going. But yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed it. But I also, you know, I could see how, you know, living in a place like that, you know what I mean? And, you know, when people think about America and it's like whole American dream, you know what I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and, you know what I mean, and wanting to live, you know, better and, you know, have the big houses and the nice shoes and the nice clothes and all that stuff and everything and stuff, you know, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I mean, I feel like they was like living happy and joyful, you know what I mean? Like they seemed like kind people, you know, everywhere I went.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
had a really good trip.
So that is definitely an experience that like changed your views and stuff. Love,
Yeah.
love, love, love. I always love to hear that story about Haiti.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I could think of traveling to the country to see like being to Mexico, like you know how you were saying like when before you go there, like you hear all these stories about oh no, all the crime and the cartel and all this stuff is gonna happen if you
Mhm.
go. And I remember going to Mexico with that frame of mind. And
Yeah.
funny story. So we're traveling and we decide, okay, we want to go to visit the Mayan ruins. So
Mhm.
we booked this little bus tour and we're riding through and we're looking like people were just normal, like just living their life, you know. But the whole time, like I've had that frame of mind that okay, like at any moment, like something crazy could happen in Mexico.
The
Like I
bus
had
gonna get robbed.
right, like I'm in this frame of mind, like oh my god, just like okay, like we riding, we on this bus, but suppose somebody stop and try to hijack the bus, like all this is crazy stuff, right?
Right.
So, girl, we ride and not our bus breaking down, right? Right on our
Mm-mm.
way to our destination, right? So of course,
Mhm.
then heighten my sense of fear and like worry, like oh my god, like we're traveling in these Mexico City. Our bus that broke down. I'm like now I'm thinking all this crazy stuff. Like suppose somebody come and try to take over the bus, like all this crazy stuff, right? It's
Mhm.
like girl, like if it's it stop, snap out of it because if something gonna happen, it's gonna happen no matter where you go, right?
Mhm.
So, like after I got over that initial fear and shock, this it was like okay, like I was fine, right? You know, they came out, got our bus moving, got to the ruins, and it was an amazing experience. Like it was a lot about a lot
Wow.
of ancestral stuff there, like
Mhm.
Mayan people. it was just a different experience, and I just felt like so connected to those people
Wow.
that used to be there like long time ago. And it's just a big like site and ground just dedicated to the people that used to like live here, and the ancestors and things and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but they're having a great time. Like in Mexico, nothing crazy happened. No boogeyman jumped out. Nobody tried to kidnap
Right,
us.
right.
Nobody tried to rob us and stuff.
Mhm.
And the people were
Yes.
like really, really nice. It was really,
Right. Yes.
yeah, and it makes you
Mhm.
think about like the times we're in now, where like they're just like trying to like deport Mexicans, and they're the boogeyman. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. Like it's a really nice people from like Mexico, and
Yeah.
like and so the other day, like me and like a friend of mine, we went to the Mexican restaurant, and I've started to become a fan of this place. I've never found myself like liking Mexican food, but
Mhm.
I've really become a fan of the restaurant right
Right.
on York Road. The Sillo sauces, they have really really good food, right? So
Right.
went there, and I just noticed like the one waitress, like she was like waiting. It must have been about 7 or 8 tables, and people were just coming
Mhm.
in, coming in, coming in, and it was just her, like
Yeah.
just waiting on ice table. Like so, it was taking a long time for us to get service, right? Like when she would
Mhm.
get to us, we can. But I was like, oh my god! It finally like something clicked, right? I was like,
Yeah.
she's working by herself, and she has a lot of
Mhm.
patrons in here, and she was by herself. So finally,
Wow.
when she came over to me, I was like, you know what? I said, I see they are working you. They are working you. You are by yourself. I said, I did not realize that you were by yourself. So we were like figuring out like why it's taking so long for us to get served. We had already been
Yeah.
like 30, 40 minutes, and we have not gotten like our,
Mhm.
our food or anything. But when I finally like stopped and looked and just assessed the scene, I was like, she's working by herself. She's the only one working, right? So I told her, I said, I could appreciate you. I see you out here trying to wait on everybody. And she said, you know what? She just paused and she said, thank you. She said, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. I was like, yes. I was like, I
Mhm.
get it. I was like, you're doing the best you can. You're doing the best you can.
Yeah.
And, she was obviously Mexican, and she was the only waitress working in this whole restaurant. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
She was so humble and
Mhm.
so grateful that I actually took the moment to stop and just acknowledge and appreciate
Mhm.
what she's doing, you know, and she
Yeah.
all by herself, right? So
Mhm.
but it really like burns my britches when people like judge and like just like had these preconceived notions of people. Like you put people in a certain class that everybody's all the same because of where they from,
Mhm.
their nationality, which is
Yeah. You know where it's like that reminded me of like the say like the Chinese food stores, especially like these ones that, are like on the corners, like these, neighborhood Chinese food places that are
mhm.
used to people banging on the thing and being like, "Where's my food?" You know what I mean?
Right,
Like I'm always
right.
really like, and not that I go into those places that often, you know what I mean? But sometimes I'll go and get like some soup, a vegetable soup or what I'm saying, like a side of broccoli or something like that and stuff. But
Mhm,
it's like we're always really nice, you know what I mean? And
mhm,
I tell,
mhm,
teach my daughters that too, my son,
mhm.
um, and so it's like, I don't know, it's like, what I mean, to get them to be pleasant, what I mean, back and to show them that, like that all of us aren't like, you
Absolutely,
know.
absolutely,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yep, yep, yep.
Mhm.
That kind of goes into like doing like acts of kindness, like you said, them stereotypes are real. Like in other
Mhm.
cultures, can stereotype you just from your nationality, just be your associations, just from those preconceived notions, like how they think like all like black people like are rude or ignorant or lazy. They always want to be violent or something like that, right?
Right.
I love that, you teaching the children to like always be respectful, like change people's like views or perceptions of us and our culture. And
Yeah.
always been the same thing that I've been like teaching your nieces and nephews and stuff. I was like, don't
Mhm.
be that stereotype. Don't be that stereotype.
Right.
You're already viewed as a certain type of person because of your nationality and the way you look.
Mhm.
But don't be that stereotype. Show
Exactly.
other people that not all of us are the same. So
Mhm.
it's very, very,
Yeah.
very, very important to like always like be kind to people, no matter who they are or where you are, you know,
That's
and
right.
and debunk those views that people already think, you know, that you're going to come in there, you're going to be violent, or you know, you're going to cause a ruckus, or you're going to start some trouble, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's a good way to like really like show and like change people's perspective and views too when it
Mhm.
comes to like other races and stuff. Um, and we were talking a little bit about like unexpected encounters, like meeting a stranger who like shares like a powerful story or something with you, or
Mm.
something that leave an impact on you. Like, you ever had any of those situations? I know we kind of touched on it, like just somebody sharing a story that like might have impacted you or something.
Um, I can't really think of one, right now, but I do know like how we can be impacted from other people's experiences for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't even think of one though right now.
Yeah.
I feel like, I know, like I don't know. Like I started thinking about like my dad, you know what I mean? And like some of the things that I've seen him do to people, or what I mean, like, things like, when he would have I guess those teachable moments, what I'm saying, when he wants me to understand something, or wanted me to understand, certain things like about women, or, something, and might try to, give me an example, or show me an example of, something. Um but yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Like so, just learning from other people's experiences,
yeah.
too. It's like I realized that you don't have to necessarily experience everything personally for yourself. You know what I mean? You can learn from somebody else's experience, like secondhand.
Right. 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 Right.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. And that kind of goes into like shifting your perspectives and stuff, right? Um,
Mhm.
like for how we talking about like encounters and like shifting your perspective. Like, I always had that feeling of like not taking like life for granted or taking things for granted. But recently, like where we are, when we had that big like impact in our neighborhood with the factory exploding, um
Right.
a huge fire. It's like, when I say like that experience like definitely shifted something in me. um
Mhm.
because it's like, how you tend to take some things for granted. Like, I've never been that type of person that take life for granted, but sometimes you can
Mhm.
like get a little comfortable and complacent. And
Right.
right, and you hear things happening and how things impact other people, but it's not directly impacting you. Like, you can have
Mhm.
some sort of empathy for me, like, oh my God, like that's crazy, like I couldn't imagine. But until you
Mhm.
actually walk into those same shoes, or you actually have that same kind of impact, like I feel like it definitely shift or make a change like in your life.
Mhm.
And it definitely was like humbling, because um like leaving our home, like not knowing if we were going to have a home to come back to, like
Mhm.
it stirred up so many different thoughts and emotions like in my mind. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, like
Very scary.
it's very scary, and it's like I can only like empathize with people that who have similar situations, like people who had like fires and like lost everything in their home, like their whole life was in their home. And
Mhm.
all I kept thinking was like, our whole life is in our home. Our
Yeah.
whole life is in our home. you know, and
Mhm.
just pray and say, God, like, please let us have a home to go back to. Our whole life is in our
Mhm.
home. And if you don't think
Mhm.
about these things until it's like smack up in your face, or you're going through like an experience, and it's like, oh my God,
Mhm.
if our home get hit, from prior to this explosion or this big fire that's happening with the feet of our home. We're gonna lose everything.
Mhm.
Our whole life is in this home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it definitely definitely changed my perspective on a
Mhm.
lot of stuff, you know, like, and it made me
Yeah.
realize like how grateful, how grateful I truly am, and like how blessed that we truly are that things went the way they did, that God like spared our home, because it could have went a whole different way. It,
Mhm.
it could have went a whole different way. So
Right.
it's like now when I'm hearing stories about like people losing everything in a fire and stuff like that, it's like it definitely like touches me in a different type of way, because
Yeah.
it's like just the thought or the feeling of that could have like happened to us, like it's like makes
Mhm.
me really really empathize with someone, you know. And I'm like
Yeah.
that situation could have been a whole lot different than it did, and I think
Mhm.
about it, just how grateful we are that we got through it, and like
For sure.
that everything aligned the way it did. you
Right.
know that experience definitely like changed a lot. It changed my views in a lot of ways. Like, don't ever take anything for granted.
Nothing.
You
Right.
don't never know when it's going to knock at your door, or you'll be
Exactly. Exactly.
close up on you.
Mhm.
You
And
never
that's what
know.
I'm saying. Like when I was talking about being in the hospital, you know what I mean? That was how I felt, you know what I mean? Because I didn't even realize that, like that it was that my health is so at risk.
See,
You know what I'm saying? When she was like, like how are you even walking around? You know what I mean? Like, like had you not come into the hospital, and she's like, I would have just fainted or something and like probably died in my sleep or something. Like that scared the
uh,
life out of me. It was like, and you hear about people like just passing suddenly and
yeah.
what I mean, stuff because that actually happened to one of my high school friends. You know what I mean? Like, yep, she like went to sleep and just didn't wake up one day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my,
Yep, same age as me.
oh
And
my goodness.
yep, and left her son alone, you know what I mean? She has a I think he's probably about 15 now, you know what I mean? But yeah, I was like it was so sad, you know. Yeah, like say, go to sleep one night and then not wake up. And I was like that could have been me. You know what I mean? Like
Child,
that could have been me. It could have been Janae. I was like, what?
girl, girl,
Yes.
girl.
Yes. So yeah, it was like I'm paying a lot more attention to
Yeah,
myself now. you
yeah,
know.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The
Mhm.
more them experiences, boy.
Mhm.
Like, it definitely like change and shake and shift some things, child.
Yes.
Honey. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Child.
Talked about a lot about, just going to a foreign country and just how that can like shift or change your thought process or your point of view
Mhm.
with things, and just like volunteering like for a cause, just to like help
Yeah.
somebody like in need and stuff, like that can like definitely shift something in you and stuff.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I can't even like I can say like I moved to a new city, how that was
Mhm.
changing, but because I think I've only lived in what 3 cities my whole life.
Mhm.
No, I'm lying, maybe 4 now, but
Okay.
but
Mhm.
but just to shift the move into like different cities and different environments changed my point of view of stuff, but
Mhm.
yeah, but I can definitely appreciate the experiences, overcoming some fears and phobias and stuff like that, you know,
Right.
but don't them experiences could definitely change like your point of views and stuff, right? Um
Mhm.
and they say like them experiences like can that actually like formulate your values and your morals and your ethics and everything else, right? Um
Right.
and how like each individual will have their own like unique experience, right, regarding an
Mhm.
issue, right? So it's all about the way that you experience it and how it would impact you and how it would affect you and stuff,
Right.
right? But yeah, but
Mhm.
that was our topic about like how experiences can change your views. Like, it's like definitely affect me in a lot of different ways. I had a lot of different experiences that changed my views and the way I look at things, and um my perception of a lot of situations when it comes to like backgrounds and like different foods and stuff. Like I'm slowly like trying different type of foods. What I call like my step out the box moments. But
Yes, yes. And we still so young. We still have so many more experiences ahead of us.
I see
And
some that ask like how old we are. We are nice and old in season.
yes, right.
Season
Look, over 40.
over 40, right? That
Over
part.
40.
Yeah. I'm a GG. My sister's not there yet, but I am a GG. So if that answers the question, how old I am, right? Yeah.
Right.
A
Mhm.
proud Gigi. But yeah, but we like to get together on Sundays and just talk about a whole different range of topics, you know. And I always say like you never know what we're gonna talk about. Um I'm TV from TV's Life, and that's my lovely sister, Janae Goddess Life from our
Right.
Healing Expressions. Yeah, so we do this live on Sundays at 3 o'clock. Yeah, it definitely brings a lot of joy to come in front of you and just talk about things, just have a discussion, you know, and hopefully something that that resonates with you, or you can have a takeaway from it, you know, for something we've talked about, you know, something that's relatable, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, but that was our topic for today. How
Yes.
change your views.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
we
so
know
go
you
have
could have
some
been
beautiful experiences.
exactly, exactly. Like it's so many different ways experiences can change your views. Sometimes, you know, you might have a negative experience that could end up turning into a positive experience or something, you know,
Exactly.
or it could be vice versa. But these experiences definitely help shape you. They definitely help
Mhm.
shape you, right? And can change your views in a lot of different ways. So I do realize that it is summertime and it's a
Yeah.
lot on, and y'all could have been anywhere in these YouTube streets, and you were a part of
Mhm.
our lives today. It is all love, all love, all love. So I hope that you are feeling the vibes from CP's Life and Artistic Healing Expressions.
Mhm.
Because we definitely like to bring the positivity and the love. We definitely like to bring the positivity and the love. And we definitely appreciate you. We don't take anything for granted, you know. So um we always hope that you will come back and vibe with us, you know, and check us out on our next Sista
Mhm.
Talk Sunday. But I always say that if you have not done anything for your son today, please do something for you. Please do something for you.
Mhm.
Like my sister always say, love on you, love on you,
Love on you.
love
Yes.
on you. Yes, love on you. So with that being said, I hope that you have a great rest of your week. Okay, and we look forward to seeing you on the next
Next
Sista
time.
Sunday. All
Yeah.
right. So then, everybody, take care and have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to
Yes.
you soon.
Yes.
You too.